Heading into round one first half with AWG versus RC. For our Survivor side, we've got Tide Puppeteer, Tide Flywheel Forward, and Flywheel Magician and Novelist. It's a pretty standard setup for a round one, definitely common to see Novelist and Magician as Goatman counter picks, and definitely common as well to see Forward on the side of AWG. For Goatman, we've got a pretty standard loadout as well, with Abnormal as well as Trump Card and Detention. Now, AWG is in a bit of an unfortunate situation heading into this match as well as the rest of the summer season. Namiko, a linchpin member of their Survivor team, unfortunately has developed tendinitis and is unable to play. Without any other Survivor subs, AWG has been forced to rearrange their roster, sending their BO1 hunter Brontal to the Survivor side and forcing their main hunter Yukikina to be the sole hunter of the team. With a meta focus primarily around having two hunters, this is a very unfortunate position for AWG to be in, but they will need to do their best in order to defend their 4th place position. Forward is going to be our first chase, definitely not a bad choice for first chase here, as there isn't much a Forward can do. He is going to use that ball immediately to try and transition over to the covered area near the fake gate. Unfortunately, not quite able to make it to that pallet before he was cut off by Aka's cages. Another cage is ready now. AG trying to transition. We are going to go through the wall of the cage here, but with Flywheel not online just yet, that heavy hit is going to get him down. He does have a quarter of the ball remaining. That is enough for a stun if he's able to ideally rebound with it, or able to, make Aka lose target and come back around for a stun. That's a little bit unlikely here with a Goatman. But Aka is going to bring him back over to this Cypher here, and that will allow him to use Abnormal immediately. So great usage of Abnormal, taking away that first Cypher that they were decoding here, and that puts an even further damper on things. That was a very early down, under a minute into the match. And yeah, AWG is going to have to work double time in order to regain their momentum. Batoru coming in for the rescue here with Puppeteer. He does have Tide Turner, which means that Aka can come around here, wait for that puppet to be out, and just go ahead for the free hit. Unfortunately, Puppeteer is not able to puppet with that Tide Turner in effect, so Batoru will be left unable to puppet until he is able to potentially heal, or just is unable to puppet for the rest of the match. Target change back onto AG in the center, looking for those cages just to keep him trapped in the center area, up onto the stairs and down again, missing that fall hit. We will see more swapping as well, and the remainder of that ball used just to get a little bit more distance. Great job, though, keeping Aka on the opposite side of that pallet just for a little bit longer. Novelist coming in to support the kite as well. We could see a swap into this pallet, but we are just going to opt to drop it. A little bit safer of a maneuver. And Emco is going to take a hit there. Unfortunately, not able to use the book or flywheel, but that did prolong the kite for quite some time and allowed AWG to get more progress on those ciphers, which is what they need right now. And it forced Aka to waste some more of his cages. Only now is he able to drop another cage, but AG is on the stairs at this time, dropping back down. Aka did see him. Is he able to make it to the pallet? No, unfortunately. He will get cut off before the pallet, and that will be his second chair. But AWG has definitely been able to regain a lot of the cipher progress that they lost through that Abnormal. However, Abnormal is up once again. It looks like we are returning back to that corner house cipher. Emco does have an opportunity to rescue for free here, which is very good, and he was actually healed by Batoru, so Batoru can once again use that puppet if he does gain Aka's attention, using the stun here just to buy a little bit more time as well. And looking to line up the cage, forcing forward through it, and unfortunately not able to go back through the cage. It was lined up with a wall. Very nicely done from Aka, and forward will be sent back to the manor here. Not a bad position to be in, especially with only 2 ciphers remaining. Both of them are around or over halfway finished. Batoru is going to keep himself out of sight, looking to return to that cipher. Aka continually looking back. He did have tinnitus over there, so he knows somebody's over there, but not sure who it is, where they are, or what state they are in terms of decoding. We do have Brontal starting a new cipher over at the island, so that will be good for their overall progress, especially since Aka is pressuring these 2 ciphers in the middle here. Batoru as well is going to take the next chase. Unfortunately, we are going to run into Puppeteer versus Goatman. Definitely good for wasting time, but the moment that the puppet runs out, Aka is able to down him with the chip damage, and this also means that Aka can conserve his resentment to change targets as well as keep pressure on the rest of the map. Emko looks to be heading towards the chair, looking for this rescue, and definitely wanting to allow Brontel to finish that cipher and keep Akka's attention away from that cipher in order for AWG to reach that one cipher remaining, hopefully push towards endgame. Very close on that hit there, a great cage. And we do have Puppet out immediately from Batoru, and once again, it is that waiting game of waiting for the Puppet to run out so he can just be down with chip damage. So that is going to be Puppeteer's second chair. Final ciphers are at 74 and 46%. That one in the center here has more progress on it. Akka knows that, so he is going to go ahead and share Batoru on top of it once again. Brontel heading for a backdoor rescue, and Akka's attention is switched, but he's just going to go back to that center cipher, and with Abnormal still in play, no longer will it be past 70%, it's back down to 50. Great use of the cages to once again block both of them in here. Brontel looking for the body block, he is going to be successful, so he's back down to chip damage. Batoru as well, no puppets left in him. They are going to stop and start healing, which will be very good for Batoru if they're able to pull it off. It'll allow him to get another puppet off. But Akka's attention is split, and he looks back towards Emko here, not with a whole lot to work with. He doesn't quite have that book up just yet, and with no flywheel online as well, it looks like he just got the book for that swap stun, but unfortunately it was not before he went down. Beautiful decoy from Brontel as he takes Akka's attention back towards the cipher. Batoru heading around, looks like he is going to go for the cipher in the middle, pushing it past 70% once again. Abnormal is still on cooldown, and at this point Akka definitely wants to conserve it and look more towards endgame, because these ciphers are moving along fairly quickly. They still have 3 survivors on the field. All 3 survivors are up. Emko has utilized his self-heal. He was downed prior. Batoru is, although, going to go down once again, and he will be sent back to the manor. So now we have 2 survivors here for endgame. Both ciphers are around actually the same percentage, looking at around 80-90%. They're moving very quickly. Neither of these survivors have decoding debuffs, and it's accelerated decoding in play. Akka switching targets here, looking for Emko, who does have more damage on him, so he will go down, but both survivors do have borrowed time, and the cipher is primed. Beautifully done from AWG. At this point, they're really just looking for a one-man escape. That's all they need, is to just not get 4-man eliminated. That's the most important thing you can do in tournament. If you can go for the 1-man, even if you've technically lost the match, you could still win the round with that if the second half with their hunter goes according to plan. Emko set up at the gate. Brontel is going to be spotted out. Oh, and unfortunately the decoy not quite able to body block for him, and Akka is immediately going to switch to teleport, looking for Emko. He does have the book to use, flywheel as well, but he has been swapped into a completely open area, not able to use the 11 for kiting. Just going to flywheel out of the way for just a second, but unfortunately it's not enough time. Akka able to heavy hit him down. That gate is only at about 50%. Definitely not enough to try and force open. And with Brontel all the way across the map, he is going to utilize the self-heal and start looking for dungeon, or at the very least to get away from the gate. Akka is immediately going to switch back over there. Brontel coming around the side. He could go for the rescue here. It would definitely be risky, and Akka has plenty of resentment to catch back up to him. He doesn't have any cages online now, but he does have Emko's chair in sight. Currently does not know where Brontel is. It actually looks like Brontel has made his way to the... Yep, he has made his way to the main gate. So he can get that open, unless... Nope, Brontel. Akka has a cage up, and he will be pressuring Brontel right back off that gate. Nicely done with the pallet stun. Gate is at 78%, but Brontel not going to return to it. He does have a decoy as well as flywheel here. Dungeon is in the center of the map if he does choose to push for it, which he is going to push for it now. There's only 4 seconds left in detention, but he is injured, so that's not going to make much of a difference, and it doesn't make a difference either way. In the final second of detention, he will go down. That is a 5-point game, 4-man elimination for RC Akka. Now heading into the second half of round 1, RC versus AWG. We do have a Weeping Clown and Magician, both with Flywheel and Borrowed Time, Mechanic with Flywheel as well as Knee Jerk Reflex, First Officer with just Tide Turner, Borrowed Time, and of course we have Yukakina playing the Breaking Wheel with Trump Card, Insolence, No Detention. He is carrying Blink for his first trait. Now, Yukakina is definitely a wild card, so going into the ban pick here for RC was definitely, I would say, risky. It is a very good thing for them that they all have Flywheel. Flywheel does pretty heavily counter the Breaking Wheel, but Yukakina is a fairly strong Breaking Wheel. We have seen him perform very well against other teams with the Breaking Wheel, but he is not accustomed to round 1 hunting, so that's definitely going to be something for him to contend with. Rowley on first chase here with Magician. We're already going to drop 1 decoy right in the entryway of the center house, just for the slowdown here, and oh, Yukakina barely avoiding the tram there, able to get that first hit. That was very, very risky. Now, heading into the graveyard area, looks like Yukihina is just going to go ahead and change targets. He did catch sight of Soba's Mechanic, so we will be switching onto him. Graveyard is a very weak area for the Breaking Wheel, so that is definitely a good choice, but this area as well, Soba, great use of not utilizing the pallets here. His Breaking Wheel can just run them over. We do have presence already with the Insolence, so we will see the spikes come out from the wheel itself. We have 3 spikes now in the Mechanic, going to utilize Blink immediately and get that down as fast as possible. So unfortunately not able to get that Flywheel out in time, but the bot is on the field, so that means Mechanic can just go ahead and sit and decode for as long as she wants. Definitely wants to get that bot set up and decoding. And it does look like City is in the area here as First Officer looking for the rescue, and Yukakina actually spotting him hiding. So he will be forced out for the rescuer, likely earlier than he wanted to be. Turning around here and heading back towards the chair. We've got 2 spikes on our rescuer, utilizing the animation just to get that little extra time to rescue. City is going to take a hit, but with Tide Turner, he's definitely able to get a good distance away, as well as Soba breaking a lot of distance here. But obviously we are working with a Breaking Wheel, so not easy to get away from the Breaking Wheel with just the speed that he's capable of. Weeping Clown in the area, right out of the corner of your eye from Yunpi. Yep, he is going to come in directly to support. Mechanic still... Oh, we're actually going to miss that first rocket, but Mechanic able to get a good amount of distance once again, looking for that bot as well, and unfortunately is just going to go down to the snap. He did utilize that Flywheel fairly early, and Yunpi looking for the stun. Oh, nicely done, luring Yukakina over. Mech is going to go down immediately again, but very good play there from the Weeping Clown. A lot of mind games here. He does have 1 rocket left, but unfortunately it's not going to be off cooldown quite in time to be able to stun rescue the Mechanic once again. Looking for a stray hit on Magician. Unfortunately, it's not going to be possible, but we are going to chase him off his Cypher. RCE is missing 1 Cypher right now. We do have 2 Cyphers a little bit on their way, but considering one of them is directly on top of Mech's chair, that's not the most ideal position to be in, especially at this time. But Mechanic does still have a lot of bot left to use, as well as the rest of this area. Yunpi coming in for the rescue. Still has Flywheel as well online, so a lot of potential support here from the Weeping Clown. Going to try and turn around here, getting a little bit stuck. Soba heading towards the pallets, and unfortunately, again, with no Flywheel online, there's not much that he can do. And Yukakina here looking to just pressure out that final rocket, unfortunately missing both traps, and there it is. Yep, that's going to be the last rocket. So no harassment on this Mechanic. She will be sent back to the manor. But in all that time, look at how far the ciphers have progressed. That final cipher was just opened up after the Mechanic got rescued already. It's been popped. So great work from RC, able to regain that cipher progress in just basically an instant. Yukikina putting down a couple of peepers. It's not too clear as to why, but he did use that trump card to switch off of Blink. So he does have peepers here for endgame, definitely looking to slug, but with the cipher progress that RC survivors have already been able to attain, I don't know if a slug endgame is very viable. Nice mind game on the pallet there, though. We do have Yunpi down, And yep, we are going to slug him and try and go to pressure the ciphers. Now, the cipher closest here, okay, that is why he put those peepers down, because that cipher is the one at 65%. Switching targets now onto Rowley's cipher. Did he see the magician? I don't think he saw the magician, or he did. So one spike in on Rowley, looking for a second. Actually, no, going to switch targets back because he did get peepers notification from City, who does not have any spikes in him yet. There we go. He has also picked up an elbow pad. It looks like that is going to be used, but unfortunately not quite able to get out of the way fast enough. He will also be downed. Now, currently the only survivor up is Rowley. We do know where he is over at the fake gate. But Yunpi actually back up. He can go either to Heal City or to the Cypher. Good use of the flywheel to avoid getting spiked here, but definitely still in a lot of danger. Yup, not quite able to make it out of that area. And he is going to get snapped down as well. Yunpi hard at work on the Cypher, though, reaching 80%. Unfortunately, Weeping Clown does have that, I believe, 20% decoding debuff, so that does make things a little bit slower. Less slow now that we definitely have accelerated decoding. And oh, nicely done! Beautiful play there from Yunpi, not wanting to get that spike, forcing Yukikina to switch out of wheel form on the stairs. Yukikina heading out of range of that pocket watch. Ooh, playing around the tram. But yeah, with that pocket watch about to run out, we know exactly where Weeping Clown is. Ciphers are back online though, and Yukikina forced to switch targets yet again to try and stall them. Rowley though, that Cipher is heading past 84, 85, 86%, and it looks like Yukikina is going to switch his attention entirely onto City. Now, City has picked up that bot. I'm not quite sure where the bot is. It might actually be at the opposite gate right now, because I believe it was near the, yeah, it was near the graveyard. So we will see that Cypher is just going to pop, not wanting to take any more of the pressure, and just force Yukikina into endgame. With that 4-man elimination 5-point game from Akka in the previous round, we do, RC only needs 1 man out. Worst case scenario, they get another 4-man elimination, and this heads into round 3, but they need 1 man out in order to win the round. So that is what they're pushing for right now. Ooh, unfortunate there. Yunpi vaulting directly into Yukikina there, but the exit gate is nearly open, and it looks like City is actually on the bot now and controlling it to open the gate. No, he did not actually make it to the gate. We do have the exit gate open on this side of the map. That's the main gate. And Rowley, unfortunately, going to get downed here. Is City just going to take the out? City is just going to take the out. But Yunpi back up again. Despite using his self-heal, the bot actually went to heal him, and now he's on the opposite gate. Yukikina going for the chair, but that gate is already well past 70%. That is a blink and you miss it play from RC just to get another man out the gate, and that is a secured tie. Absolutely incredible play. I doubt that Yukikina had even noticed that that bot was up. So yeah, just incredible work there from RC Survivors, incredible coordination. And what a way to close out round 1.